Wanted to share a ghost story. I had an experience with a ghost last week and I almost called the cops. I think it's just so funny because when you start out on the awakening process, you start having psychic experiences, and it truly is a process. Most of the times when I have experiences with ghosts, it's at night, and usually I'm in my bed, or I'm right about to go to sleep, or I'm just waking up, or it's in the middle of the night. So if I have an experience during the daytime, it just kind of takes me off guard because I don't have them that often. And so I wanted to share what happened to me last week. I just got home from walking the dog, and I was standing in the kitchen, and the cat was on the counter because I was feeding her, and the dog was down by my feet. And I was looking at my phone, and I was just about to walk away, and then I heard this sound. It was somebody singing, and they were singing like, oh, like they were like a toning exercise. And I stopped like dead in my tracks, and the cat and the dog both turned and looked in the direction where the sound was coming from. And so at the time I was sitting there just processing it, trying to understand, like, okay, wait a minute, what normal potential sounds could this have come from? Like, I know what sound my refrigerator makes and my freezer. And, I'm sitting there just trying to like make some rational explanation. So of course I just think there's somebody in my house. And, like all my hairs on my arms are standing up. I'm just sitting here thinking, I look over at the back door and I realize it's not locked. So I sit here and I think, oh my gosh, there's got to be somebody in the house. And so, I was literally about to call the cops and just say, can you please just go through my house? I know this sounds crazy, but I heard somebody and I just want you to go check. I was that scared and terrified about what might be in my house. So I sat there for a minute, and then I decided to get my pendulum, and I asked my pendulum, is there somebody else in my house? And the pendulum said no. So I went ahead and, went through my entire house just to double check to make sure that there was nobody there. But, looking back, it sounds ridiculous that I was about to call the cops, but when you hear somebody that is, making a sound, and it just catches you off guard, the first thing you think is that there is somebody in my house. So usually when I have an experience like this, I try to think about like what could have caused it, because although I do have a portal in my house and I do have spirits occasionally come through, usually there's some sort of trigger to that experience. And the only thing that I could think of that might have caused it is I had just got, the day before I had gone to a crystal shop and had bought a large crystal as a gift. And so I was sitting here thinking, okay, maybe, either I picked it up from the crystal store itself, or maybe that crystal, had a ghost attached to it. So when these things happen, like I said, I'm caught off guard, and, I think in the future, if this happens again, I will try to engage with the spirit and try to get information about it. But it catches you off guard at the time, and so my knee-jerk reaction is, this is a human and I don't feel safe, and so let me try to, get out of this situation. Anyway, I went ahead and saged my house at the time and just made sure that whatever was there is gone, and I haven't had any experiences since then, but I just thought I would share that story.